for HR only. If you're not planning to study business HR in your IB, then maybe don't consider doing this. But I think in IGCS you also cover some of it. So what is lean production? Lean production is maximizing value and minimizing waste by maximizing efficiency, improving quality, and reducing costs. Some of the principles of lean production might be the right first-time approach, zero defect rates in product output, identify and solve problems as they arise, prevent rather than correct errors. And it's involving flexibility, which means adaptable capital, equipment, and physical resources are multi-skilled, staffing teamwork, more flexible manner sales and waste minimization, remove the process that are redundant, no contribution to added value, and consumer has little necessary rework rather than replace. You also want to keep your supply chain management as effective you want to be, which are what I've mentioned in the 5.1 operational management. Make sure you know that. And also make sure there's continuous improvements, ongoing small steps, and all the staff involved that improve. This is basically the development of the key point of a Japanese principle called Kaizen, Japanese initiated this principle, and just basically they want to you want to improve the quality of the things step by step and make sure all the employees are involved in the processes. And for waste, definition of waste is anything that prevents a business from efficient. This involves transportation, like unnecessary movement of materials and inventory, the excess of raw materials, work in progress, and finished goods. There are also motion of unnecessary movement of people or equipment, and waiting, delays, or idle time in production process. And also make sure there's no overproduction. And overprocessing means using more resources than necessary to produce. Defects, no meets the requirements. You just make sure that, well, just basically anything that, like I've said, anything that prevents your business to be not inefficient. And so Kaizen, like I said, continuous improvement, continuous step to improve work processes and productive inefficiencies are constantly reviewed to ensure that there's no positive impacts. And some of the elements of Kaizen, like totally quality management, teamwork, and quality circles. This is group of employees meets regularly to consider ways of resolving problems. Make sure zero defect in manufacturing, high level of automation, high level of cooperation between workers and management. However, this requires a long-term management commitment to change. It's also involved in a regularly training her staff, accept suggestions and delegate control to subordinate workers, skills to implement and managing continual changes. Moving on to JIT. JIT is just-in-time stock management, which means raw materials are not stored on site, but ordered as required and delivered by suppliers just in time for production. So there's no stock at all. You don't have to pay for inventory, and you just produce whenever the raw materials is delivered to you. Some of the advantages involve low storage costs. They have trusted suppliers. Make sure you have trusted suppliers. Cash flow improves the money that is not tied up in the stock. Storage space can be used for something else. The teamwork is encouraged. However, there are disadvantages of this method. For example, the purchasing economies of scale are not possible, as you can no longer bulk purchasing the raw materials to get a decrease in the average cost of raw material because you have no place to store your things. And it's also hard to respond to unexpected increase in demand because you have nothing to store. And there's also administrative cost increase. There's also unreliable suppliers that can halt production. If your suppliers are untrustworthy, then a single halt in the production can lead to great financial losses, just like anything I've previously mentioned. Another thing is cradle to cradle. So cradle to cradle, unlike traditional method, cradle to grave is the traditional method, which means one-time use of a product and the design with a linear life cycles that ends in disposal lead to an increase in waste and environmental concerns, which is what we don't want to see with our lean production. We use C2C, cradle to cradle models aimed towards a circular economy, and resources are conserved and waste is minimized. Focus on affordable design and responsible manufacturing practices so that materials and components can be repurposed or recycled. This is used by a lot of business nowadays because due to the nowadays we look forward now looking at the environmental concerns, and it's very essential to build up your brand images and to raise added values to cut costs for your businesses. And moving on to quality control and industrial assurances. So quality management is basically the business considering the features of products that satisfy the need of customers and ensuring that it has effective systems and procedures. It needs to maintain a level of quality that continues to attract and retain customers. So the perception of quality from customers, like after sales services, safety, durability, customer service, appearance, reputation, reliability, and fit for purpose. So, how do we measure quality? Reject rate. We measure the reject rate, which is the percentage of autos that consider not fit to sell, and the items returned, the incidence of products brought back to the corrected, which is defect rates. Basically, we'll talk about that further in our future slides. And so often can be shown through customer satisfaction, loyalty, market share. Some of the advantages of not quality control. Let's talk about the quality, just the quality itself. Like quality specialists are employed. It's inexpensive and simple. I mean, I don't know, like less complaints, more positive feedback, repeat purchases from customers, and increase market shares. But how do we get our products good quality? First of all, you can use quality control. It's about inspecting quality of the outputs at the end of the production process. So some of the advantage might be the quality specialists are employed, and it's inexpensive and simple compared with the quality control methods that I'm going to talk about in the future. Right now, I mean, some of the disadvantages will be so if there's a rejection of finished goods, it's a waste of resources, which is what we don't want to see in production. We also don't really know the cause of defects as we are only examining the end part of our production procedures. And let's move on to quality assurance. What is quality assurance? Unlike quality control, it is examining the quality throughout the process of production. So check their own work and sometimes work with others as various stages of production. Some of the advantages will be to identify early so the products can be reworked soon. It also can, so we know where the defects are detected. However, there are also disadvantages. So you need to train staff and workforce needed to be skilled. This may lengthen the production process. And finally, quality circle. What is quality circle? Basically, groups of workers meeting regularly to identify and solve quality problems. Volunteers from different departments meeting that are typically chaired by a senior leader. So they work together to execute and manage a solution. So like Kaizen groups, however, the key difference is members of quality circles and execute. to execute and manage solutions to quality issues. Let me take a 5-minute break first. Sorry. So, what are some of its advantages? It's involved in improving motivation because they are involved in the decision-making process. The solutions are also relevant and focused as the workers are familiar with the process. I mean, they are involved in the production process themselves, so they are the most familiar ones of the issues and where to improve. It also can cause improved productivity. And some of the disadvantages, you need to have trust in the workers, and it may require a certain amount of training, and the meetings need to be regular. So maybe it can be you need to have a regular time period about the production, which can maybe even decrease the productivity in a certain way. But it depends. Moving on to benchmarking. Benchmarking is business comparing its quality and performance with others, especially in the market leader within the same industry. There are two methods of benchmarking: historical benchmarking, comparing the same performance data over time, indicators such as labor productivity or labor turnover rate. So it's basically the internal benchmarking, like inside the businesses, where external benchmarking is comparison of key performance indicators such as product recall against market leaders and international compares market leader overseas. Some of the advantages maybe you learn from the best practice of successful companies. You identify innovative practices of processes. It can be support of setting a realistic performance goal by comparing current performance and industry standards, and some motivation of employers to strive to be the leader of the industry. You can also be more competitive and reduce performance gap with the rivals. And some of these ones may be the differences in metrics used to measure performance. The best practices from market leader may not always be applicable because of historical issues or opportunities. That's not just you cannot just copy from them, and this can be a struggle to find the time and resource of data collection, analysis, and implementation. The focus may be too much on the benchmarking, which lead to a narrow view of success. And last but not least, total quality management, TQM. TQM makes sure every worker is responsible for quality. There's inefficiency and waste is removed from every functional activity. The advantages involved in improving efficiency, which also improves profitability. There will be a positive culture of constant improvement of high standards. If there is improved brand images, more motivation, depends. Just can be more competitive. Disadvantages is all workers must be committed and receive significant continuing training. Monitoring and control required by managers. Cost can be high, and time lag between implementation and results. So overall, what are the benefits of lean production? There's higher profit as a result of greater efficiency, so less waste and lower costs. Improved customer satisfaction and loyalty. There's streamlined processes, removing unnecessary steps lead to faster production, increase employees' morale and engagement. There's low environmental impacts as less waste and minimal resource usage. However, it needs ongoing effort to sustain improvements. Also needs strong relationship with suppliers because the defect-free components need to be delivered on time in right quantities. And for quality standards, there's national and international benchmarks. So to commit for the quality, ministers by independent body of carry out to ensure the standards are met and revisit regularly to ensure the standards are maintained. Business means the standard include the quality symbols of logos on their products. The importance of quality standard involves reassuring customers of their commitment to quality, of a better accreditation can set a business apart from competitors. And maybe your consumers know that's based on your credentials. They know that you're trustworthy. They are more likely to buy your products. Discounts being more price demand inelastic, and so you can charge a higher price to get more profit. This allows business to enter new markets to reduce the risk of legal issues and penalties. Yeah, just overall improve your competitiveness and improve your performance. And that's about it for this chapter.